Now, welcome. This is the Messiah Revelation Ministry. We are a prophetic platform. We are focusing on end time events. The final trumpet of heaven has sounded based upon revelation I received on August 27th, 2013. Today, we are focusing on the preparation for the coming of the Antichrist. It's very strange that we are talking about the coming of the Antichrist. It's an end time event. The book of Revelation talks about the Antichrist. The book of Daniel talks about the Antichrist. John the Baptist was born. His main assignment was to prepare the way for the Messiah. And when the Antichrist is coming, some people, a system will prepare the way for the coming of the Antichrist. The system has agents, and they are working, they are laying the foundation for the coming of the Antichrist. They are preparing the way for the coming of the Antichrist. If you ask if you ask yourself a question, how come the Antichrist will be able to do all the things that is expected of him? How come will he be able to do that? We are talking about temporal limitation. We are also talking about geographic limitations, limitations on the power of the Antichrist. What are the limitations? Um, the first limitation is temporal limitation, time limitations. The book of Revelation talks about 42 months. Um, and so it appears that the Antichrist will have to do what he has to do within the 42 months. Very short time. We're talking about 3.5 years. And will the Antichrist be able to do that? That's the first question, the time limitation, very short. The second limitation is the geographic limitation. When I talk about geographic limitation, I'm talking about the scope of the Antichrist power. Will it be universal in scope, or will it focus on certain places, certain countries, certain regions of the world? We are asking the question because the book of Revelation gives us the scope of the power of the Antichrist. Revelation chapter 13, verse 7. And it was given unto him to make war with the saints and to overcome them. And power was given him over all kindred and tongues and nations. The power was given to the Antichrist, the beast. Power was given to him by the dragon to make war with the saints and overcome them, overcome all people, all nations, all kindred. That suggests that the Antichrist will have universal scope to operate. Today we are focusing on how the agents of the Antichrist are preparing for the coming of the Antichrist. And I'm not sure whether those who are preparing for the coming of the Antichrist are aware that they are preparing for the Antichrist. Um, Technologies that are being developed and systems that are being promoted in the world, they are the platforms that will be used by the Antichrist. So we are looking at the systems in place and the innovations and the conditions that the world is laying down. We're talking about companies, we are talking about individuals, we are talking about governments. They are laying groundwork for the coming of the Antichrist. you can call them the agents of the Antichrist, those who are laying the foundation for the coming of the Antichrist, so that the Antichrist will be able to fulfill his assignment given to him by Satan, outlined in the book of Revelation, chapter 13. He will control nations, and he will have a system, and it's a financial system, identification system, that will make it possible for him to exclude people from buying or selling unless you have the mark of the beast. So look around the world and see the preparation going on. First of all, let's look at the 15-minute cities. 15, 1 5, the number 15, 15 minutes cities. And the planners of the world, those who are planning for the Antichrist, they have conceived an idea that force people to live in a very restricted geographic location, 15-minute cities, developed cities where people will live and they will be able to travel within 15 minutes. Let them live where they are supposed to live, and let them work where they are supposed to work, and let them be able to function within a 15-minute radius, so that if you are going to work, you spend 15 minutes. If you are going to the hospital, you spend only 15 minutes. You do everything within the area where you live. What is the sense of that? Of course, it's prophetic. It will allow the government to control people because they know where you are. You are living and working and doing things within a 15 minute radius, 15 minutes. 15 minutes, you'll be able to do, or should be able to do what you are doing. So you limit people geographically where they can live and where they can work, and even the type of cars that they can ride. And if somebody is using a private car within the 15-mile radius, 15 minutes drive, somebody's using a private car, you can monitor the person. The technology is there. The police looks at your um, license plate, the car plate, and from even that information, the police can have almost everything about you. Of course, that's why the police is able to detect criminals by looking at the car they drive and information about their driver's license and their license plate. And now the technology is there, and they are also um, developing 15-minute cities to limit people's to limit people geographically, so that the government will be able to monitor them, so that the Antichrist will be able to monitor them. We are moving towards a system where what you eat can be monitored. What did you eat yesterday? Is it beef? Is it fish? And whatever you ate, how much carbon dioxide did you consume? Are you consuming more food that uses more carbon dioxide? Of course, the planners of the Antichrist, they are limiting how much carbon dioxide that you spend. They are environmental worshippers. They are worshiping creation. They don't worship God, they worship creation, and they want people to worship carbon dioxide. They want people to provide a footprint of carbon dioxide. Carbon footprint. footprints, carbon dioxide, the amount of carbon that you spend will be monitored. And it will be possible because um, if they have access to your spending habits, they will be able to determine what you bought. And nowadays, the system is there. The technological systems have been developed. We have credit card systems, and we are also moving towards a digital society. And so the digitalization will enable the planners, the agents of the Antichrist, to determine your eating habits, and they will be able to calculate your carbon footprints. And if you spend more carbon dioxide, if you use more carbon dioxide, then you can be punished. Your lifestyle will be monitored. It's all part of the control. The Antichrist system is about control. It's about enslavement, enslaving people. People will be slaves of Lucifer, so that they will do whatever Lucifer tells them to do. And that is the system that is being envisaged. Is a system, this utopian system, that is being contemplated in the world that we live in. And next we go to the CBDC, Central Bank Digital Currency System. If you are in a cash spending society, it may be difficult for the government to monitor your spending habits. But when you have a digital system controlled by the government, it will be easier. And so governments are talking about central bank digital system. It will be a system where private banks will not be working. It will be largely central banks, banks controlled by the government, and it will allow the government to control the financial system. Central bank digital currency system. Let all the banks stop issuing whatever they are doing, and let them not get involved in a financial payment system, and give that to the central bank in the nations, and so that they will have a digital currency system. Cash is going to be abolished. And if you have a digital currency system controlled by the central bank, is part of monitoring, is part of surveillance. And if the CBDC, central bank digital currency system, are programmable, it will allow the government to even do more controls. And so if there is a central bank digital currency system instead of a cash, the bank can determine how much money you can have access to and what you do with the money that is given to you through the digital system. In a cash society, you have your cash, and nobody asks you how many $100 bills you use, or $50 bills that you use, or $1 bill that you use. But with a digital currency system, the government will know how much money you withdrew from the central bank, and they will also determine whether they will even give you access to the digital currency system. If the central bank is the only organization dealing with digital currency, then the central bank has power to control who has access to the digital currency system. You cannot get access to the digital currency system unless you go by the requirements of the system. And one of the requirements would be an identity system, a digital ID system that will enable you to access the central bank digital currency system. Um, in the era of communism, as proposed by communist, godless philosophers like Karl Marx, they were talking about abolishing banks. You abolish private banks. Let the government take care of the banks. Why did they do that? They did that because they figured out that that was the best way of the government having maximum control over people, enslaving people. And so nowadays, as they are preparing for the coming of the Antichrist, they are talking about a central bank digital currency system. It is not only one country talking about it, and according to research at this time, there are as many as 134 countries in the world contemplating central bank digital currency system. Is gaining currency, and in the European Union, is gaining currency in Britain, is gaining currency in the United States, and even the developing countries. Is gaining currency in China, in Mexico, and other parts of the world. Central bank digital currency system, CBDC. And at a time where global financial control is already in the hands of the IMF and the World Bank, controlled by the Western powers, it will not be difficult for the World Bank and the IMF to force nations to coerce, to influence nations, developing nations, to go by the central bank digital currency system. It will require that you have a special digital ID for you to be able to access the digital currency system. And if you don't have the access, then you are cut off from the financial system. You cannot buy, you cannot sell, and that is the model of the mark of the beast. Can the government control your access to money? Yes, and it's very easy. During the time of the lockdowns in Canada, when truckers went on demonstration in Canada, and the Canadian government issued a directive to the banks to block, to freeze the accounts of the truckers. If your accounts are frozen, if your financial system, bank accounts, money are frozen by the government, you are cut off from the financial system. You cannot buy, you cannot sell. You are at the mercy of the central bank. So when you hear governments talking about central bank digital currency system, they are talking about a movement towards governmental control and financial enslavement. If you have credit card, it's good, it's convenient. But with the credit card, the government will be able to monitor your CO2 consumption. If you have a debit card and use it in the future, the government will be able to monitor your CO2, carbon dioxide consumption. And it's all part of the controls that are coming with the coming of the Antichrist. They are laying the groundwork for the Antichrist. They are moving towards identification system, digital ID systems, and the ultimate identification system will be the permanent identification system, and that is the mark of the beast. The mark of the beast will be the final ID system of importance. It will not be your driver's license. It will not be your credit card, and it will not be anything. It will not be your photo. It will be the final identification system, will be the mark of the beast on your forehead or on your right hand, as prophesied in the book of Revelation, chapter 13, reading from verses 16 to 18. The surveillance culture is there. There are so many countries nowadays. When you go there, there's no distinction between a communist country and a free democratic country, because all nations are moving into a surveillance regime nations. Surveillance regime nations. Cameras over the world. They are moving towards the Orwellian system, and that will be used by the Antichrist. Surveillance cameras over the world allow the government to monitor where you are, who you are. Of course, they argue that it's good for fighting a crime. That is good. But in the final, ultimate years, the years of the Antichrist, it will enable the Antichrist to monitor where you are. Technologies are being used at this time, providing convenience, but these are the same technologies, end time technologies, that will be utilized by the Antichrist. We're talking about satellite based technologies, even including the so-called Starlink developed by Elon Musk, allows people to stream audio, video from anywhere in the world. The same technology will be utilized by the Antichrist to monitor people all over the world. And so now the technological platforms are ready and capable of allowing the Antichrist to monitor everybody from every part of the planet. And of course, we should not forget about artificial intelligence that will allow the government to see and hear uh, people, to see people and to hear their conversation. It will allow government to issue their orders. It will allow the Antichrist to do a lot of miracles. Many things can be done with the Antichrist. Uh, the Antichrist can do so many things with the artificial intelligence. The artificial intelligence is bringing in the era of deception. And deception is the first thing that the Messiah talked about when he was delivering the Olivet discourse. Matthew 24, verse 4 talks about deception. The AI is promoting deception in the era that we are in, and it is promoting the platform of deception that will be used by the Antichrist. So, in conclusion, all that we are saying is that uh, the agents of the Antichrist are laying the foundation for the Antichrist. Technological platforms are in place that will be able to allow the Antichrist to decide who can buy, who can sell. They are limiting people geographically by coming with the idea of the 15-minute cities where peoples can be limited geographically, where they work, where they live, where they travel to. Credit cards and debit systems are now available to monitor people's spending habits, and ultimately, it will develop into a final payment system. That is the mark of the beast. So the Antichrist will be able to do what he's supposed, what is assigned to do within the geographic scope, and also within the time scope, within the 42 months assigned to the Antichrist. Because already the agents of the Antichrist are busy. They have the technological innovations, and the governments are preparing for the coming of the Antichrist with the central bank digital system, with cameras and technological surveillance technology, monitoring technology over the world. And when 134 nations in the world are preparing for a central bank digital currency system, you must be aware that they are preparing for the coming of the Antichrist. The Antichrist will wage war with the saints and overcome them, and will have power over all nations, all kindred, and all languages, all tongues. And we are moving and transitioning into the beast antichrist system prophesied in the book Revelation chapter 13. Be awake and be aware, repent of your sins. The agents are preparing the platform for the coming of the antichrist, and they are preparing the platform for the permanent ID system, that is the mark of the beast. And it means they are preparing for a way whereby billions of people will accept the mark of the beast, and eternally they will lose their salvation. If you accept the mark of the beast, you will lose your salvation. It is the mark of the beast that nations are preparing for, as they are laying the platforms to monitor your consumption of carbon dioxide, and also to restrict your access to financial system, as they are moving towards a central control system, central bank digital currency system. This is the Messiah Revelation Ministry. Thank you for watching this video. Share this video. They are preparing for the coming of the Antichrist, and don't be deceived. Be awakened. Thank you very much.